Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
Giulia defeated Charlotte Flair and Zelina Vega in a Money in the Bank triple threat qualifying match.
Tommaso Ciampa defeated Sabin.
Michin and B-Fab defeated Secret Hervis.
Jacob Fatu and Mateo defeated Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix.
LA Knight defeated Aleister Black and Shinsuke Nakamura in a Money in the Bank triple threat qualifying match.
The Street Profits versus Fraxiom ended in no contest.
Now, if you want to know why that happened, the Wyatts are back.
Bianca Belair is back. Well, next week.
And R-Truth likens Cena to Gollum. We begin with a backstage brawl as we see McIntyre making his way somewhere when he's jumped by Priest. Of course, the two are separated, and we begin SmackDown properly with Tiffany Stratton heading down to the ring. After giving it the big un and warning the winner of Money in the Bank not to cash in on her, out comes Alexa Bliss. Bliss says she needs the briefcase and that if Stratton thinks her rise to the top was quick, wait for her downfall. The two are then interrupted by Charlotte Flair. Flair, not having won Money in the Bank, claims she will win, cash in and take the spotlight. She's being booed the whole time she's talking, by the way. Stratton calls the other women vintage and adds that they were the standard and she's the upgrade. With that said, Stratton leaves the ring and heads up the rampway. As she does, she's met by Giulia, making her way out for her Money in the Bank triple threat qualifying match.
So, first match of the night. Charlotte Flair versus Zelina Vega versus Giulia in a triple threat qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Vega is tossed aside so Flair and Giulia can go at it, which they do, kinda, but it's not a barnstormer as they take each other out with clotheslines. Vega then comes back in and double DDTs her taller opponents after they tried to double suplex.
We go outside with a moonsault from Vega as we hit a break, come back, and we're back in the ring with Flair and Giulia going at it once again. Nothing comes of this as Vega interrupts with the three of them all having a hit-off in the middle of the ring. Pin attempts are made with Flair even landing a moonsault to both women and covering both, but only for two. Flair then broke up a cover Vega had over Giulia after Vega had hit Code Red, with Flair then locking the figure eight on Vega. Giulia re-entered the fray with a stomp from the top rope on Flair, taking her out, and then finished the match with a Northern Lights bomb to Vega, covering her for the 1, 2, 3. I think we may have mentioned her, women.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better if she won.
Yeah. We then get a vignette from DIY, but mainly Ciampa. He says something needs to change, which will happen later as he has a match against Sabin.
We see Zelina Vega backstage nursing her neck from the match she's just had when she's approached by Green and Co. Vega attacks Green with Hervis breaking them apart, only for Michin and B-Fab to then come from nowhere with all six women then brawling. Nick Aldis and his backstagers are of course at hand to break up the fight, with a match made for later, Secret Hervis versus Michin and B-Fab.
Next match, Sabin versus Tommaso Ciampa, with both men having their tag partners at ringside. We actually get some wrestling to begin with, but then end up outside, but not for long as Ciampa throws Sabin into the crowd barrier just as we hit a break. When we come back, we just catch Sabin bulldogging Ciampa and following up with a suplex, kick to the jaw and cover for 2. Ciampa gets a 2 after dropping Sabin on the apron, with Sabin getting a 2 after a DDT.
Sabin hits a crossbody to DIY and then climbs the top rope with Ciampa following, only Ciampa is pushed down, injuring his knee. While the ref's checking to see if he's okay, Sabin gets down and waits for the outcome. As he waits though, Candice LeRae pops up and chokes him on the top rope, with Sabin then reeling back into the ring. Ciampa takes advantage and drops Sabin with his exposed injured knee. This does for Chris as he's then covered and pinned.
Backstage, Byron Saxton asks Fraxiom how they're feeling ahead of their tag match later. They say that the Profits are just the next step on their way to greatness and they can make history.
Damian Priest heads out next, or rather he doesn't, as his music plays out and we await his entrance. The camera zooms to the top of the rampway and we're greeted by Priest and McIntyre still brawling. Backstage, break it up, with Priest then grabbing a mic and getting in the ring. Priest says he's after his pound of flesh and then leaves the ring, attacking Drew again before being separated.
We see Solo speaking with JC backstage when Jacob rocks up. He wants to speak with Solo alone, but Solo says JC is family. You can speak in front of him. Fatu says he doesn't trust JC and that he's not his family. Solo likes his aggression and tells him to use it later in the match they have with Jimmy and Rey Fenix. Solo also adds he wants Jimmy to come back. Solo then gears up to drop a "you know what I mean," and then he's stopped by Fatu, who tells him he's saying it wrong. The segment ends with Fatu walking off and Solo asking JC if he's doing it right.
Solo is very funny.
He is
very funny. Charlotte Flair is walking through backstage when she comes across Alexa Bliss, who can be heard saying, "And that's why it's important to have friends, because when you don't, there's no one there to lift you up when everything falls apart." Flair asks what she said, with Bliss saying she wasn't talking to her before lifting up the Lily doll.
Next up, Michin and B-Fab against Secret Service. Fab gets singled out and kept in the heel's corner, but eventually fights back, bringing in Michin. She gets the best of both Hervis, with Green then getting on the apron trying to distract her. Zelina Vega then appears, pulls Green down and takes her out with a knee, only to be then chased off by Niven. Back in the ring, Fyre eats a meat defeat and then suffers a modified neckbreaker by B-Fab, who then covers the former Women's Tag Champion and picks up the victory for her team.
Byron Saxton is backstage speaking with the Profits, and he says the pressure is on them. Dawkins says this ain't no exhibition and we'll see under the light if the moment's too big for Fraxiom. Ford adds they're going to walk out of Georgia the same way they walked in, when the camera pans back and we see Solo on Bloodline 3.0. Solo looks at them and then shakes his head as he, Fatu and JC head out for the upcoming tag match.
Before their match, we see Santos Escobar speaking with Berto and Angel. Cutting a long story short, Santos says they have a match at Worlds Collide, with Berto showing no interest whatsoever.
Me neither.
After the vignette, a match card flashes up to show it's official. And if you think I'm going to try and pronounce who they'll be facing, you have another thing coming. Aside from Psycho Clown, I mean, we all know these guys, right? Names just roll off the tongue.
Oh, don't they just? And apparently this is going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
The Worlds Collide. Jimmy and Rey nearly kiss before they head out for their match against Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo, who are accompanied by Solo. Fatu and JC swap blind tags to begin with, which neither are happy about, before they both end up outside and are taken out by a great looking corkscrew from Fenix off the top rope. When we come back from the break, Jimmy is in trouble, suffering at the hands of JC and Fatu, with Solo then seen trying to get his brother to rejoin the bloodline. Jimmy manages the tag, with Fenix taking out both 3.0 members and covering Fatu for 2 after a poison rana.
Fatu then breaks up a cover from Jimmy on JC after a crossbody from the top rope, with Rey then sending Fatu out the ring with a dropkick. Fenix follows him, but ends up getting tossed over the announcer's desk as we head back to the ring to see Jimmy spearing JC and then heading up top. As he gets there, Solo gets on the apron and tries to convert his brother back to the dark side once again, but Jimmy's not interested and launches his attack. Enough time was bought though as JC rolls out of the way, hits his tour of the islands and covers the Uso for the win.
Byron Saxton, again, this time with LA Knight. Knight pretty much says he's going to win his match against Black and Shinsuke, who he says are playing spooky season all year round, which did make me laugh.
R-Truth heads out next. He blames himself with how Cena's turned out and then claims he's like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, becoming corrupt with all the power. R-Truth adds if he's going to try and save wrestling, he's going to have to save Cena.
We get a 3-way vignette next from Nia Jax, Naomi and Jade Cargill, who have a Money in the Bank triple threat qualifying match next week. Now that should be interesting.
That should be good.
I can't see that ending clean, but
someone's got to win.
No rules in it really, but that should be exciting.
Talking of Money in the Bank triple threat qualifying matches, we have Aleister Black, Shinsuke Nakamura and LA Knight in theirs now. all vying to get to the main Money in the Bank match with the three squaring off. Black and Knight team up to take out Shinsuke before the pair take on one another, with Knight winning out. Nakamura comes back in and takes out Knight, leaving him and Black alone. We have a strike-off between Black and Shinsuke, yawn, with Black winning out, but thankfully Knight comes back and superplexes Black after he'd gone up top.
Shinsuke then takes out Knight with a knee from the second rope, and then nothing as we head to a break. We come back to see more strikes exchanged between Black and Nakamura, with Knight breaking a Black pin on 2. Black and Nakamura go at it again for a third time, before we see Black landing a moonsault to the outside on both of his opponents. Back in the ring, Nakamura lines up Kinshasa, but Black catches him with Black Mass. As Black goes for the pin, Knight heads back into the ring, tosses Black out, covers Shinsuke, and thankfully gets the win. I just want to add, I do not want to see Aleister Black versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a one-on-one match. If I wanted to see kicks and punches exchanged, I'd go and watch MMA.
Yeah. Backstage, we see Carmelo Hayes and The Miz watching on when we discover that Nick Aldis gave Miz the choice of whether he should be in next week's Money in the Bank qualifying match or Hayes. Miz selflessly gave it to Hayes. Hayes also said he will now listen to The Miz's plays.
We learn of another match that has been added to Saturday night's main event, Zelina Vega against Chelsea Green for the United States Championship. So to add to our predictions that we did earlier in the week, if you've not seen it, go and have a look. I'm going to go with, it's got to be Vega.
Yeah.
It has to be Vega. Don't let Green have it. Yeah. Anyway, we go backstage and we see Solo speaking with Jacob and JC when Nick Aldis approaches them. Aldis has good news. He tells them that it's the final Money in the Bank qualifying match next week and that Fatu is in it. Solo looks a little worried but laughs it off with JC. Now in this little segment, Fatu also said to Solo that he loves him, and then he walked off, and Solo responded and said, I love you too, and then he's like, oh, he said he loved me, did you hear that, to JC. It's just a little funny bit. It's hard to replicate if you don't watch it, but if you watch it, it's just, he is.
It's just like the faces,
it's his mannerisms,
well,
it's his face. He plays that so well. So well.
We have a vignette from Bianca Belair next. She says she's healing, her best is yet to come, and will return to SmackDown next week. She mentioned changed a lot during this segment, so whether there's going to be a change in her character for her, we'll just have to wait and see.
So, last match of the night, the Street Profits against Fraxiom for the WWE Tag Team titles. Dawkins manhandles both Fraxiom members with ease to begin with, until Fraser manages to get away, with Fraxiom then flying and diving out of the ring at the Profits just before we hit a break. We come back to find the Profits back in control and taking it out of Axiom until he DDTs Dawkins and then tags in Fraser.
Dawkins also tags out with Ford and Fraser then going at it, with Fraser managing two count covers before Ford tags Dawkins back in, who covers Fraser for a 2 after Ford slammed Fraser to the mat. Back from yet another break, and we have Ford being locked in a choke by Axiom, only for it to be broken by Dawkins throwing Fraser into Axiom. Ford then manages to kick out of a superplex, followed by a golden ratio kick on 2, with the Profits then hitting a super blockbuster on Axiom, only for the follow-up cover to be broken onto by Fraser.
Now it's Fraxiom's turn as Axiom Spanish flies Dawkins from the top rope, which is followed by Phoenix Splash and cover from Fraser. Ford breaks the pin on 2. With all 4 men down in the ring, out come DIY with LeRae. But they're followed by Motor City, with the 2 teams then fighting at ringside. Ford dives over the top rope / turnbuckle and wipes out MC and DIY, while Dawkins hits a spinebuster on Fraser. Dawkins can't cover though, as Ford is the legal man, and after a little encouragement, Ford gets up and heads to the top rope. As he does, the lights shut down.
When they come back on, the Wyatt Sicks are in the middle of the ring and cause chaos as they take out everyone. The match is of course abandoned, with SmackDown going off the air with the Sicks in the ring.
Now I thought this SmackDown, on a personal level, was a little flat. As it had, I don't know what's up. I'm just not getting excited for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, when the lights shut down, I was like, I was excited, and then they came out, and then they did the thing, and then I was back to what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's it.
What are they going to do?
Well, say kind of like it was like, oh, they're coming back. Like, no one's heard anything.
Yeah, there was no
anything.
music. The lights went, and then they just came
They were
back,
just
and there they
there.
were. So it was like, oh
And at
wow.
first it was like, oh, is it them? It could be anyone.
Yes.
But then when they was there, it was like, oh,
This is good.
but yeah,
Now
what's
what?
going to happen?
Because you can't.
Is there going to be anything, or is it just going to be like last time and nothing?
I mean, there's got to be something. I mean, Bliss was talking to the Lily doll earlier, so that she can work back in.
Yeah.
As I say, the build-up for these was absolutely off the scale. Unbelievable.
So good, yeah.
Everybody was
And
talking
even when
about
they first
it.
came in,
Amazing.
I loved that.
Absolutely battered everybody. Wow, they're taking over. Somebody got injured. Whatever. They've come back. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Unless you go in for the... I mean, the thing is, they came back and they were supposed to have taught Chad Gable a lesson, but they didn't. They were supposed to have taught The Miz a lesson, but they didn't.
I don't know, Miz is a bit nicer now.
No lessons have been taught by anybody. Or learnt, rather. Not been learnt by anybody. So, I don't know. But next week, Jax, Cargill, Naomi.
Yeah.
See, that is something to look forward to. I've not looked forward to any matches. I don't know. I just can't get into it. Like on Raw, you got Seth and what he's doing, and you got Punk, and you got Zayn, and you got Jey. So it's like, that is.
I like what's going on
there. That is
yeah.
cooking.
But there's not.
But SmackDown is just flat for me. I mean, if you like it, fine. If you want to say anything different, that's fine. You know what you can do. You can leave your thoughts and your views in the comments below.
Go and check out our musings video with thoughts and opinions on the last week of WWE. A new one drops every Wednesday.
Thank you again for watching if you did.
And we'll see you Sunday for our quick take on Saturday night's main event.